The Rachel Hollis podcast is proudly sponsored by Amica Insurance. As Amica says, empathy is our best policy. That's why they'll go above and beyond to tailor your insurance coverage to best fit your needs. Whether you're on the road, at home, or traveling along life's journey, their friendly and knowledgeable representatives will work with you to ensure that you have the right coverage in place. Amica will provide you with peace of mind. Go to amica.com to get a quote today. The New Balance 1080 is the ultimate daily trainer, combining reliable comfort and top-tier performance. I live in my sneakers. I use them to walk around the block, to run around my neighborhood, and to get all the chores done in a day that I need to as a working mom. So whether you're logging miles or running errands, the 1080 seamlessly transitions from the coffee shop to the grocery store, to the podcast studio, or wherever else you've got to get things done. The New Balance 1080 features a cushioned midsole for secure support and comfort, while the totally lightweight, breathable mesh upper keeps your feet cool and fresh on every run. Shop the 1080 at newbalance.com. Do you know you can enjoy a workout? You know you can leave a workout and actually feel fantastic and proud and like you really accomplished something. Like you did something to take care of yourself, not because you were trying to squeeze into a certain size jeans, but because you really wanted to move your body today and you wanted to do it in a way that was honoring of what you were into. But that requires a plan. That requires you looking at the week ahead and figuring out when you're fitting in those moments of movement. When are you going grocery shopping so you make sure you've got the right nutrition? When are you meeting up with a girlfriend to go on a hike? Like, you've got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. Hi, I'm Rachel, and in this show, we talk about everything: life and work, health and healing, relationships with others and with ourselves. These are stories for the seekers. These are conversations for the curious. This is the Rachel Hollis Podcast. Hi guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to part 2 of our conversation on weird, unusual, unorthodox, random things that totally helped me to get healthy and to stay healthy. If you have not listened to part 1, it's epic. It's fantastic. It's everything you want it to be. And I feel like it's got some really good nuggets to start this conversation. So I would suggest you go back, whether it's in the podcast or on YouTube. You go back one time, you run it back one time, and you go listen to part 1 of the show. But this is part 2, and it's happening in the exact same moment as part 1, in case you're wondering, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, and you are like, oh, you've changed your outfit. I have. And not with a ton of effort, to be honest. I just put on a hoodie and took my hat off, and nobody asked me for that, but to be very honest with you, it helps me when I organize the video clips later, because I have to take all the video clips and then upload them to my team. And frankly, I was just trying to make it so that I could visually see very easily what we were doing. So there has been a costume change. For what it's worth, this hoodie is from a company called Fanatics, Fanatics, Fanatics. And all of their merch, all of their stuff is about supporting sharks. I got this hoodie after I went shark diving. I felt like I wanted to do something and I wanted to contribute to a cause that was helping sharks. It says, no sharks, no ocean. Big problem. Sharks are very important to our ecosystem and to the ecosystem of the ocean, obviously. And that's where I'm wearing, what I'm wearing, why I'm wearing So if you're like, that is the perfect color blue, and you would also like to support marine life, the company's called Fanatics. Not an ad, just a good cause. Let's just jump right back in, because you've hopefully listened to part one, and part two is just a continuation of that conversation. So let's go to the third thing that has really helped me. And I'll tell you real quick, in between these two videos, I did take a little break, about 10 minutes, and I had an apple. I chatted with my boyfriend. I told him about the episodes that I'm filming, got his perspective on them, and then came back and did this for you. And the reason that I did that is because it aligns so perfectly with this next number in my list. And that is to be obsessed with energy, not the way you look. If you want to get healthy for real and stay healthy forever, then laser focus on how you feel, not how you look. I live my life for energy. And yes, you know me, hippie vibes. I literally am doing a podcast with a crystal on my desk because I just want to be aligned. I got crystals on my wrist, the whole thing. Yes, energy, but that's not what I'm talking about in this instance. I'm not talking about energy from a crystal or from the universe, though those are very important. I am talking about having energy, generating energy, living life with vitality. Hopefully, each and every one of us have experienced at least one day in our lives where we felt great, where we had all the energy we needed, where we had the momentum, where we had the vitality. We were joyful, we were excited, we were doing what Stephen Covey says, which is carry your own weather. We were bringing sunshine with us no matter what the temperature of the room was. That is about energy. That's like when you wake up in the morning, do you have what you need? Do you have the energy supply that you need to be able to function the way that you want to? That's what matters. That's what you need to aim at when it comes to health. Because here's the thing. If you aim for energy, if you are like, I don't care about anything else except whether or not I feel great, that I am excited when I wake up, that I've got the momentum that I need to move throughout the day, and that by the time I get to the evening and the kids get home from school and I'm making dinner, I still have the energy required to be the best mama, to be the best daddy, to be the best sister or friend or daughter. If you are obsessed about that, your body and the way your body looks will happen naturally. I know it's like you're supposed to pick a team, right? You're supposed to be like, team, we're just energy, or team, we want six-pack abs. But this is the thing that nobody tells you. This is the secret. If you focus on feeling great, you're totally going to look great. Not the goal, but a hell of a byproduct. Because remember, we started this conversation, part one of this podcast was that you love your body as it is, but you love your body as it is enough that you want to work on how you can feel better inside of it. The most magical thing happens when you start vibrating at a different frequency. When you're like, I'm over here and I want to have the energy required to get through this day and still feel on fire, and to wake up tomorrow and do it again, and wake up the next day and do it again. When you focus on that, it changes the way that you take in nutrition. It changes the amount of water you're drinking. It changes how you work out. It changes how you meditate, how you pray, how you practice self-love, how you treat other people, how you treat yourself. All of these things shift and adjust when the focus is energy. And if you're doing all of those things, you'll get the slam and bod that you always wanted. And in fact, you'll get it in such a healthier and better way, because you're probably going to love your body and find your body way sexier, looking very different than what you thought it needed to look like in order for you to love it. Because here's the other thing nobody wants to talk about. So many of the people that have the body type that you admire and that you think is so sexy and so beautiful, and oh, I'd kill to have her butt, her abs, her arms, whatever. Do you know how many of those people still hate themselves? The way you look has actually nothing to do with the way you feel about how you look. Yeah, the way that you feel about how you look, that's an internal thing. That's a you working on your heart kind of thing. That takes practice and resilience, but I promise you that if you focus your efforts and your intention on how can I have the most energy? How can I have the most clarity of thought? How can I have quick fire, rapid thinking and the passion that I need with me as I take on my dreams? If you focus only on that, the other stuff will fall into place. I swear, again, remember this whole conversation are things that are counterintuitive, but totally freaking work. And by the way, aiming to have energy is one of the greatest pursuits I think you can take on in your life, because it's impossible for you to experience consistent energy without having to really practice self-care. You can't have consistent great energy if you are not nutritionally, physically, emotionally, spiritually taking care of yourself. So the byproducts of this endeavor are going to be fantastic for you. So focus on energy. There's that old expression, right? The power plant doesn't have energy. The power plant makes energy. You don't get energy from caffeine. You don't get energy from food. You don't get energy from this magic place. Like, you generate energy. It's why it's also really important, if the goal is energy, that you have to have a stronger thought process and intentionality to your exercise or workout plan than you might currently have. Because if the goal is to look a certain way, then you might be hitting the gym 7 days a week, strength training, busting your butt, going to failure every single time, really killing it. You're doing the rock style workout, and you might be getting all the muscles in the world or seeing the definition that you want to see, but you're exhausted and you're burnt out. Or let's be real, you're putting shit in your body that's awful. You're jacking yourself up on pre-workout. You're putting chemicals. You're taking supplements. Some of you doing steroids. Like, guess what? It's your body and you get to do whatever you want with it. But if the goal is energy, you will treat it in a completely different way. I love finding ways to commemorate really important experiences in my life. Usually, if you look at my wrist, you will see it stacked with bracelets that do just that. And if you want to celebrate your unique story, check out Pandora Jewelry. They're crafted with meaning and exquisite artistry, from sparkling lab-grown diamonds to vibrant enamels, personalized engravings, and their iconic charms. Pandora offers endless ways to express what's in your heart. Every day is a chance to be love. Let Pandora Jewelry remind you that love starts with you. Shop in-store or online at pandora.net. Coming into the new year, it was time for a big reset for our family. We had so much fun over the holidays, and we indulged in sugar and all the stuff we normally wouldn't have, which is why I love coming back into a routine with Thrive Market. Thrive Market lets you easily find trusted, family-friendly brands and shop based on your needs. So things like low sugar or gluten-free, organic or high protein, you can filter them without the hassle of grocery store trips. Plus, with the Healthy Swap scanner in the app, you can scan a product you already buy and get instant recommendations for cleaner, healthier alternatives. Ready for a junk-free start to 2025? Head to thrivemarket.com/Rach and you'll get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/Rach. thrivemarket.com/Rach. If the goal is looking a certain way, you can get there. But it's also very likely you get there and you still feel like shit because you didn't work on your heart, you worked on your abs. And this is your life and you get to choose. But I promise you, one of those roads feels so much better. And I think it's possible to pursue both, but that's like a next level thing that requires a different conversation. For today's purposes, we're talking about how to get healthy and stay healthy. But if you establish your health routines and rituals inside the boundaries of wanting it to come from a place of self-love and self-care, I think you can still have six-pack abs, but they'll be grounded in something that's good for you instead of something that is all about how to make you fit into someone else's ideal. So focus on energy. And if you want to take a deeper dive on that, oh my gosh, like there's so many pieces of research that you can look at or books that you can read about how to practice all the things from a place of energy production instead of a place of energy depletion. But I go back to this idea of like a workout or an exercise routine. If it's about how you want to look, then you might burn yourself out. But if it's about how you want to feel, you might do 4 walks in a week. You're like, I'm just going to go walk for 45 minutes, or I'm going to go walk for 30 minutes. I'm going to put on some of my favorite music or one of my favorite podcasts, and I'm just going to go do a fast walk. And then another day I'm going to do yoga, and another day I'm going to do strength training. And people are like, oh, that's your workout? You're walking? Hell yeah. Because the goal was energy. I wanted to move my body, get my cardiovascular going, get this stuff pumping and moving, but not in a way that totally wipes me out. Right now, post-period, with anemia, the few days after my period, my workouts have to be really gentle. I might only go and walk for 30 minutes by the lake. And not even like a fast mall walker from the 90s. I'm doing a slow, out in nature, breathing fresh air, feeling good. It's not what anyone would look at and say, wow, like she's really killing it with her workout today. No, I'm really generating energy today. By moving my body, I'm warming up my muscles. I'm keeping myself in flow. I'm keeping myself in energetic flow. I also get fantastic ideas for writing, for the podcast, things that I want to create or do. I might get my best ideas when I'm on a long walk. But that's not what any bodybuilder is going to be impressed by. But my goal is not the muscles. My goal is energy. My goal is that when my babies get home from school, I'm joyfully making dinner, not bitterly making dinner. And then I have the energy to play games or watch a movie or talk to them about their day and do bedtime routine in a great way. Like, that's what I'm here for. Hey, maybe when my kids are all grown up, maybe I'm going to like, I don't know, be a bodybuilder because that's the place that I'm at. But right now, it's about energy. And not for nothing, my body's never looked better. My body has never looked better, and the goal is not for my body to look better. So I stand by this idea. Focus on energy first. The second thing in part 2, or the fourth thing overall, if we're counting, is have a plan. Now, this might be obvious to any of you who are super into fitness or health, but I tend to try and have conversations from a place of beginners because that's where I want to meet you guys. Wherever you are in the journey, this might seem obvious to some of you, but I promise you there's a huge part of this community for whom this is not obvious. And that is, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to get healthy this year, or I'm going to get healthy this month or this week. You need a plan. You need a schedule. You need some parameters, because otherwise there's too many distractions. There's too many things that require your responsibility. There's too many things going on. And if you're just using a blanket statement of like, I'm going to get healthy, you're probably not going to make any kind of progress. And if you don't start to make progress in some way, listen to me, you guys. If you don't start to make progress in some way, you will quit. This is true for anything. This is true for relationships, dreams, goals, a new job, your health, your fitness. If we don't see progress, why would we keep doing something that feels uncomfortable? Because getting healthy is uncomfortable. It pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And if you're going to be outside that comfort zone, then by God, you want to be able to see some result for the effort. So if you want to see a result, you've got to have some kind of plan in front of you. So my advice for this is to do your research. Again, there's so many people that talk about this, that dive into this, that dig into this. So I would say do your research, but make sure that your research is aligned with what your values are, your goals are. It's kind of like earlier when I was saying that if you're going to follow people on social media, that you want to make sure you're following people who have similar body types, similar physiques, similar health goals. Because if you are this tall, voluptuous woman and you're following this super short, super low body fat percentage, all muscle, number one, you're going to get a warped perception of what a healthy body is for you. And number two, you're going to be setting out against a goal that is literally impossible for your body to achieve. It's like when you take a hairstyle to your hairstylist and you're like, oh, I want it to look like this. A good hairstylist will tell you, I love this hairstyle. There is no way that your hair is going to be able to pull it off. God bless every hairstylist who's just like, no, look, you do not have the texture for this. You don't have the body. And if I'm not, I know you don't really like to do your hair that much. So if you're not having it styled regularly, it's not going to look like this. It's going to fall flat. And then you're going to look like a basset hound. And you're going to be so bummed out that you wanted this haircut. So let me work with you and let me tell you what your hair can actually pull off. It's the same with our bodies. If you're looking at someone with a totally different body type, if you're looking at somebody who has a body that's 30 years younger than yours, and that's the inspiration, even if they're like, oh, that's a cool workout, or I want to try that arm exercise or whatever, that's fantastic. But I think that it still like plants a seed in the back of our brain that that's what healthy is. And that's not what healthy is to you. So as you're doing research on some kind of plan that you want to aim for, make sure that you're doing it with someone who makes sense for what it is you're looking for. I also really suggest that you take on one area of your health at a time. Your mental health, emotional health, physical health, nutritional health, those are four completely different things. They require completely different modalities. They require completely different energy levels depending on where you are, how much bandwidth you have in this season of your life. Do not try and take on your entire health journey at once. You don't have the bandwidth for that. Unless, I don't know, for the one person who's listening to this, who's independently wealthy, doesn't have a job, has no kids to take care of, has no responsibilities in life, okay, go. Do it all. But for the rest of us who have other things going on, set yourself up for success, y'all. Set yourself up for success. How many times in your life have you tried to take on too much at once and then everything falls apart and then you feel like a loser? And you're like, see, I knew it. I knew I wasn't as strong as my sister. I knew I wasn't as motivated. That stupid voice in the back of your mind starts telling you all the ways that you suck. It's not that you suck. It's just that you took on too much at once. Building a beautiful life for yourself is like laying bricks in a wall, one at a time. You get one at a time in place. It's solid. It's good. Okay, great. Now let's add another one. Now let's add some mortar, right? Let's get these guys stuck together. It's a long process. Anything that you want to last is going to take a while to build. So move slowly and with intentionality and have a plan. If you want to change your eating habits, okay, let's figure out a plan that works for you, that helps you to change your eating habits. Not a diet, not a diet, a different way of eating that makes your body feel really good and gives you energy. If you want to change your physical ability, right? Like maybe you're like, oh, I want to have some kind of exercise mode that I can get into and that I can learn and I can build up to so that I've got more endurance. Okay, great. Now, what is that going to look like for you? Because here's the other thing that people get wrong. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and say get wrong because I've gotten this wrong a million times. Thinking that someone else's exercise regimen is right for you. You absolutely can and should look at other people to get ideas of different ways of moving your body. I have friends who love CrossFit or who love a boot camp. They like someone to scream at them. That's my nightmare. I'll just start crying. You know, sometimes in my life, like I've really wanted to do Soul Cycle or Peloton. Other seasons of my life, I want to be outside. I want to go hiking. I want to run. Other seasons, I want to dance. Sometimes I want to do strength training. Sometimes I want to do hot yoga. Look at other people to get ideas, but don't assume that every single exercise modality is going to be right for you because they're not. Your body is made different than other people's bodies. But if you have a plan and you're building your plan up around what's going to give you energy, you're going to reach for things that you actually enjoy. Listeners, NerdWallet wants you to let them do the work for you. Looking for auto insurance? The Nerds will match you with top providers in your area in just a few questions. So getting the right rate for you is as simple as going to nerdwallet.com. After all, letting NerdWallet do the work is more than smart. It's genius. Not all applicants will qualify for the lowest monthly payments. NerdWallet Insurance Services, Incorporated. California resident license number OK92033. The New Balance 1080 is the ultimate daily trainer, combining reliable comfort and top-tier performance. I live in my sneakers. I use them to walk around the block, to run around my neighborhood, and to get all the chores done in a day that I need to as a working mom. So whether you're logging miles or running errands, the 1080 seamlessly transitions from the coffee shop to the grocery store, to the podcast studio, or wherever else you've got to get things done. The New Balance 1080 features a cushioned midsole for secure support and comfort, while the totally lightweight, breathable mesh upper keeps your feet cool and fresh on every run. Shop the 1080 at newbalance.com. Do you know you can enjoy a workout? You know you can leave a workout and actually feel fantastic and proud and like you really accomplished something. Like you did something to take care of yourself, not because you were trying to squeeze into a certain size jeans, but because you really wanted to move your body today and you wanted to do it in a way that was honoring of what you were into. But that requires a plan. That requires you looking at the week ahead and figuring out when you're fitting in those moments of movement. When are you going grocery shopping so you make sure you've got the right nutrition? When are you meeting up with a girlfriend to go on a hike? Like you've got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. I hope some of you are having like a light bulb moment where you're like, oh, it's not that I'm not motivated. It's not that I don't want it. It's that I've been sort of going off willy-nilly and I don't have any guardrails. So of course, I'm not going to stay consistent to my vision for my life because I have nothing holding me to that consistency. I'm thinking of how many people even go so far as to get to the gym, but have no plan for what they're going to do when they get there. You can be way more effective in a 30-minute workout or a 20-minute workout when you've got a plan of what you need to accomplish while you're there than if you wander around aimlessly for an hour. I was at the gym this morning with Boo, and he has like a trainer schedule, like here's different workouts that we can do on different days. So I jumped into his training schedule, which I do a lot. And then It was so funny because there were 3 women at this gym. Shout out, ladies. There were 3 women. You could tell like they had dropped their kids off at school and then they had come to the gym to work out together. One of them had a fitness app on her phone. I thought it was so funny. One of them had a fitness app on her phone. And so she was like guiding the rest of the group. I was like, that's kind of genius, honestly. Like, get one person to pay for Peloton and then you guys split the monthly cost because the 3 of them were using the workout together. Like, they were all like encouraging each other and they were funny. They were like laughing, like, oh my God, I hate this. Like, it was really cool. So not only did they have a plan for that workout, they probably had a plan for what days they'd show up, but then they had accountability buddies. Have a plan. If you want to succeed at something, you got to know what you're aiming at. You got to have guardrails, especially if it's something that you don't feel super confident in. Knowledge is going to give you confidence. Knowledge comes with knowing what you expect of yourself today, tomorrow, over the next week. Have a plan. My next weird thing that totally works is random, but I stand by this. I don't think I'm the only one either, but I do think it can be a bit controversial because we're all supposed to love ourselves no matter what. And that is true. Working on self-love, body love, thinking you're beautiful. But I stand by this. I've been saying this for like 15 years since I had a blog. You will feel better and do more and be more effective in a workout if you feel like you look good. That's just facts. That's facts. And I say this because you have probably, like me, because this was me when I first, as a young adult, like tried to go to the gym. I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't raised by parents who worked out. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't have a partner who was really into it. So I really was like, I got a membership to 24-hour fitness. It was post having babies. So I told you guys I was feeling really uncomfortable with my body. And I did what so many people do, men and women. I wore the biggest sweats I could find, top and bottom. And then I went to the gym without any kind of plan. And so I would go on the treadmill for a minute and then I'd go up to the weight area and try and like figure out what I was going to do. But the issue is that you get to the gym and you're looking in a mirror. So you're looking in a mirror at you not looking or feeling your best. Unless you're like, I don't know, maybe you're one of those like hip hop dancers, you're super into baggy sweats. You do what you do. But for the rest of us, it matters what you look like because when you look more like the person that you're wanting to be, it motivates you, it energizes you. When you're wearing super baggy clothes, your hair's pulled back, you look like a woodworking apprentice during the Revolutionary War. Like you've got that low ponytail and like the side tendrils coming out. You're just like, you don't want to be there. What about that do you think energetically, vibrationally, what in that is going to attract your spirit back for the workout tomorrow? It's why there is freaking energy in going to a gym where the people there are way fancier and better at working out than you are. Look, let's just go full douchebag right now with some realness. I have a gym at my house. I have a gym in my house. During COVID, I had a little tiny garage that I converted into a gym. I'm sure at some point, if you follow me on Instagram, you maybe have seen me doing a workout there. And I loved it. I was super lucky during COVID because I had the whole thing. I live out in the country and I started to feel maybe like 6 months ago, I just started to feel really isolated. And my best friends had moved from Austin back to LA. I was missing them. I wasn't really interacting with humans as much. My boyfriend was on tour. I just like was taking care of kids and then by myself making this show for you guys. And so I was missing people. And there's a gym kind of near my house. Oh, there's lots of gyms near my house, actually, as I'm saying that. All kinds of gyms. And this douchebag got a membership to Equinox. Do y'all know what Equinox is? Let me describe this for you. I used to have a membership to Equinox when I was in LA. It's so obnoxious. I'm sure there are more expensive gyms, but it's pretty freaking expensive. It's like if the coolest, fanciest hotel you've ever stayed in was a gym. I mean, the outfits that everybody wear. The staff is wearing cool outfits. The staff's like the coolest people you've ever seen. The music, the lighting set up so that you look beautiful. Like, if you've never seen an Equinox, like, go look at one online. It's ridiculous. The people that go there, it's the most beautiful people you have ever seen, wearing the most stylish workout outfits you didn't even know existed. There's a smoothie bar. There's full Lululemon vibes in their lobby of clothes that you can buy. There's a Pilates studio, there's yoga, there's cycling, there's that it's redonkulous. You go into the locker room, you're like, am I in a 5-star spa? I don't even know. It's so stupid. I used to have a membership when I was in LA because it was down the street from my house. Now, to go to an Equinox, I'm going to drive into downtown Austin, Texas. It is going to take me 30 minutes through construction at the Y. If you're in Austin, you know what that means. Y'all, this douchebag, she rolls in at least once a week. At least once a week, if not more. The great thing about a membership, I'm just going to say, I do travel a lot, New York and LA. So, okay, I'm also using my membership in those instances. I'm not going to go to this gym every day. I also understand, I'm telling you that it's douchey, that I have an income that allows me to have a fancy gym membership. But here's my point. It makes a difference. I promise you, it could be your first day of working out in the history of your adult life. If I took you to a random gym with no intentionality, or this glorious, ridiculous, fancy gym, I promise you, you're having a different experience, you're having a different workout, and you're more inspired, you're working out. Because that's the thing, in a space like this, everybody in this gym, better bodies, more endurance, doing cooler stuff. People are literally like doing hand push-ups on their handstand. Like, what is wrong with you? But I'm always so inspired and I end up working out so much harder, and the vibe matters. And you don't have to go get a ridiculous gym membership, but the vibe that you bring by signaling to yourself that you care about what's about to happen by like, okay, I'm going to put on a cute outfit. Or it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be one of those like cute Lululemon girls. You're wearing the like crop top and the pants and they match each other. I don't even do that. But maybe you're going to put on a really fun t-shirt that has like a workout pun. Or maybe you're masculine energy and you're like, oh, I'm about to dress like Channing Tatum from Step Up. Maybe you're going with old school Adidas baggy muscle tee. It doesn't matter what you wear. Please hear me. It doesn't matter what you wear to the gym. It matters that you put on an outfit that made you feel like a badass. Because I promise you, the vibe and the energy that you bring into your health journey is what changes everything. And if you show up to your workout feeling like you hate the way you look, why am I even here? I'm so uncomfortable. That's going to be your reality. And it's going to signal everything in you that you should definitely not come back here because this place sucks. So I would love to challenge you. If you are someone you know that you just like, you're showing up barely and you know that it's not the way, you just, all those things, I would love to challenge you to go to your next workout, whether it's a run, cycling studio, maybe it's at home. Y'all, maybe you are working out at home watching a YouTube video. It still matters what you look like to yourself. You know that old expression that says dress for the job you want? I think it's dress for the life you want. How would the best version of you 5 years from now, like you are living your best life, you've accomplished every dream, every goal, you are the person you always knew you could become? How do they dress when they go on a run? How do they dress when they go to the gym? Start acting as if you are already that person. Start acting as if you are walking in purpose, that you're walking on purpose. It might sound dumb, but there's too much psychology about how the way we look affects the way we feel and act for you to ignore this piece. The last piece of advice, the last like weird thing that I have learned to do that has really made a difference in my health is to have a nighttime supplement routine. Okay, sounds kind of random. This is not the point in the show where I'm like, and today's episode is sponsored by. No, I'm not going to tell you what supplements I take. That's something you should figure out with your doctor. But I started taking vitamins at night, oh gosh, 10 or 15 years ago. It's not something I grew up doing. It was sort of like one thing at a time. You build, it's called a supplement stack. So meaning it just is like a stack of different things that you're stacking one on top of another. So maybe you're starting with like vitamin C, and then you're like, oh, I have inflammation, so I want to take some turmeric, and then I want to, again, you want to work with a nutritionist or a doctor because they can really guide you based on blood work, what your body's missing and how to help it. Right now, I mean, my nighttime supplement, it's an army of friends that are coming to help. Between I do seed and oil cycling for my hormones, I'm on iron supplements because of my anemia. And then we've just got like our dailies, our magnesium, which is really good for women and also really good for pooping and to help you go to sleep. I take my holy basil for anxiety, praise the Lord for adaptogens. I take Vitex for hormones. There's just all kinds of stuff. It's not about what you take. It's about that you take it. For me, there is something about the last thing I do before bed every night being an act of self-care for my health that really reinforces no matter what happened during this day, I'm resetting my intention for health every single night. Without fail, I do not ever, ever, ever miss taking supplements. And so again, anything in your life could be a spiritual practice. It just means that you take some time, you're more thoughtful about it, you're more connected as you do it. For me, that nighttime supplement stack is a spiritual practice. I'm really conscious of making a choice to take care of myself in this moment. This is really powerful on days, especially where I don't feel like I did make great choices. Maybe I drank a little too much at dinner with my girlfriends, or maybe I didn't eat enough, or maybe I ate too much, or maybe I didn't get a workout in for a few days. I don't know, fill in the blank. The point is that no matter what happened during the day, I'm resetting this intention every night in a really simple way. Because I know my supplement stack so well, I don't have to really think about it. It's just an ingrained part of my day, but I am conscious in the moment that it's helping me to practice great health. I guess to that end, since we're talking about the evening, I'd love to reemphasize for the millionth time for everybody how important it is that you get good sleep. Kind of nothing that I've talked about in this list, either this episode or the one before it, is truly achievable if you are in a sleep deficit. Sleep is so important. And there are times in our life where we don't have control, right? If you've got a newborn, if you're working nights, if you're in a season where you're not as in control of your sleep schedule, it can be greatly affected. But sleep is like a bank. It's like money in a bank. This is a really important thing for me to learn, is that people think, I'm going to stay up late, I'm going to stay up late, I'm going to stay up late, but then I'll sleep in 3 extra hours on Saturday and I'll make up for it. So they think, oh, I'll stay up 2 hours later, 2 hours later, 2 hours later, all during the week. But it's cool because on Saturday morning, I'm going to sleep 3 extra hours. I'm going to really sleep in and then I'll be caught up. But sleep doesn't work like that. Sleep is like money in a bank. So if you think of it like money, on Monday, you took out $2. On Tuesday, you took out $2. On Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you took out $2. You've lost $10. And then on Saturday morning, you decide to sleep in for 3 extra hours. So you got 3 hours back. Even if you did that both days of your weekend, you got 6 hours back. You're still in a 4-hour deficit. Sleep is like money in a bank. You can't sleep a little bit extra and think that it makes up the difference. And y'all aren't doing this for 1 week. You're doing it for 2 and 3 and 4. You're doing it for months. You're doing it for years, some of you. Get some sleep. You do not make good decisions about anything in your life when you're tired. It has to be as big a priority to you as working out or making sure that you're eating your greens. Some of you think that you're getting to a place where you're emotionally unstable. You're not emotionally unstable. You're exhausted. Get some sleep. Prioritize your sleep. I know it's not as fun as staying up and watching old episodes of Friends, but it's so essential. If you're struggling to wake up in the morning, you're waking up grouchy in the morning, you're starting your day, it's taking you forever, you're having to have 8 cups of coffee, take better care of yourself. This is not any way to live. It's like the simplest thing in the world that so many people ignore. Get sleep. Make that such an important thing in your life. And again, don't say, okay, you're right, Rach, I've been going to bed at 1 a.m. I promise starting tonight, it's 10 p.m. for me. Your body's not going to work that way. And remember what I said earlier, if you don't see results, you're going to quit. The same thing happens with an earlier bedtime. So don't try and go to bed at 10 when you've been going to bed at 1. Try and go to bed at 12:30. And then once you figure that out, try going to bed at midnight. Once you figure that out, it's 11:30. And you keep backtracking until you're getting the correct amount of hours of sleep. And if you don't know what that is, go look it up. I do this all the time for my kids. I start my daughter's bedtime routine. She's 5. We start her bedtime routine at 6:30. She is dead asleep by 7 p.m. 7 p.m. She's 5. It means that I've got to get dinner into everybody so we can have a family dinner and get her so that at 6:30 we can go upstairs and start her bedtime routine so she can be asleep at 7. Because she wakes up at 6:30 and she needs that much sleep. If you don't know how much sleep you need or how much sleep your kids need, Google it. Talk to the pediatrician. There's so much information out there. Maybe you keep getting sick. You feel like your immune system's fried. You feel extra stressed out. Yeah, maybe there's something big going on, but maybe you're just tired. That's why I love talking about weird things or simple things or counterintuitive things, because the health industry is one of the most financially lucrative and successful industries in the world. Because if they can confuse you about what will help you to be healthy, you'll buy stuff. Myself included. I don't need to go to the douchey gym to get a workout in, but I like to. But I've also been learning about this long enough that I know why I want to go to that gym. It's not because it's a better workout. It's because it makes me feel a certain way. That's marketing, yo. But for you, if you keep feeling confused about how to get healthy, you'll keep buying things, doing diets, trying books, doing this system, this program, this thing, and maybe they will be effective for you. But what works, tried and true, day in, day out, usually is pretty simple stuff. So I hope some of the simple things I shared in part 2 or part 1, I hope they were helpful, guys. And I hope that if you liked it, you'll share it with someone you know, you'll put it on social media, you'll get the word out. Because if you're still here after 2 episodes of this conversation, I'm hoping there was something in it that you dug. I'm Rachel. I'll be back later with more conversations, more ideas, more experts sharing their wisdom. Until then, remember, in case no one said it to you lately, I love you, and I'm rooting for you. The Rachel Hollis podcast is produced by me, Rachel Hollis. It's edited by Andrew Weller and Jack Noble.
Looking for a snack that's better for you and irresistibly tasty? Grab a bag of Skinny Pop Popcorn. The original ready-to-eat popcorn is made with just 3 simple ingredients, and it still delivers all the light, airy, and satisfyingly salty flavors you love. Share a bag of Skinny Pop with your favorite people, or just keep it to yourself for some endlessly enjoyable solo snacking that lasts and lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop. Popular for a reason.
TaxAct knows filing your taxes can be complicated, and that's why we have live experts to help you with any questions. They can hold your hand through the process beginning to end. Metaphorically, of course. I mean, they can't actually hold your hand in person. I suppose you could hold your computer mouse while you chat with the expert about capital gains or whatever, which is sort of like holding hands. Sorry, point is, our tax experts can make filing easier. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.